Good afternoon and welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me live at MarketSite is Emmanuel Dowdall. He is the Director of North America over IDA Ireland, and we're going to talk about lower tax rates and tariffs taking place in the U.S. right now, if there's been any impact with U.S. companies and business in Ireland. Thank you very much for joining us at MarketSite today. And before we get into the results here, tell us more about IDA Ireland.
Thanks for having me, Jill.
You're welcome.
Yeah, IDA Ireland is the Irish government's agency that's specifically responsible for reaching out to foreign companies and encouraging them to consider Ireland as a location from which to do business around the world.
All right, now a lot of American companies, big Fortune 500 companies do business in Ireland with the talk of repatriation and lower taxes and so forth in the U.S. What's the business outlook in Ireland right now for 2018?
Well, it's very interesting, and it's a great day to talk about it because today we've actually announced our interim results for 2018. And I think it's fair to say, if you look back, that the last little while, 12, 18 months, maybe 2 years, has been particularly unstable or subject to unexpected market trends and market impacts. So I think the fact that today we're able to announce the third in a row mid-year results that are record-breaking, actually. And in actual fact, if you look at our mid-year results and compare them to this time last year, they represent, in terms of actual decisions made by corporations, an 18% uptick. So, you know, the Irish economy is ticking along very well. We have a GDP growth of about 4% in around that space. We've consistently, this is our fourth year in a row where GDP in Ireland has been the strongest in Europe. So I think that no complacency. We recognize the need for absolute focus on efficiency and cost effectiveness. So we're very focused on what we need in order to sustain that position and to build on what we've already achieved. But all in all, I think today has been a vindication of the Irish, both the policy and progress.
Right. Well, Ireland applauds the U.S.'s pro-business approach. What do you think global business is going to look like in the Trump era now that it's more protectionism, more repatriation back to the States? What does the global outlook look like?
Well, I think that there are a lot of trends out there that business decision makers are trying to deal with. And you're talking about the impact of the change, and obviously tariffs is one of the most topical ones at the moment. Ireland fully applauds the U.S.'s pro-business approach. It's been a tremendous partner for Ireland for ever so many years, and it continues to be our largest marketplace, our largest source of business. But I think that what Ireland offers in the context of a European Union in particular is a location from which to spring into Europe. It's an environment where you can feel confident in government policy, the consistency there around investment in education and infrastructure, for example, an emphasis on innovation, and for example, the introduction of the knowledge development box, where profits from innovation carried out, research and development carried out in Ireland attract a 6.25% tax rate. That's the kind of consistency that decision makers seek. And I think from our point of view, we welcome that opportunity to continue working in partnership with U.S. corps.
Do you think a trade war between the U.S. and the EU is a real concern?
Look, I think what you have at the moment is a new reality. I think that we've had a long period of consistent growth, the G7, the G8. The reality is that people feel that it's time for perhaps to reset the order of how things are at the moment. The European Union has retaliated. Those measured retaliatory recommendations won't kick into effect until July. Does it become a tit for tat environment? I don't know. But the reality is that amidst all of that uncertainty, what you have is a platform, a base for American investment to seek consistent access, certain access to the European market. And from that point of view, I think Ireland's product has been, as I mentioned earlier, vindicated today.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us at MarketSite. And thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.